Hey, what's up, Room 10? I just want to go over a quick verse with you guys. I figured since we're talking about the atmosphere and God's creation and the sky and all those awesome things, I figured I'd hit this verse right here because I felt like it fits in really well. It says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork." And if you've ever seen pictures of the Hubble telescope that the telescope has taken in deep space of the multiple galaxies, it's super impressive. Um, I mean, when you look at, I mean, just when you look around us, when you look at the mountains, or when you look at the ocean, or if you look at, one of the nature shows where they're doing undersea diving and they're, on the bottom of the ocean checking out animals and different types of things, um, it all speaks to God's power in his creation, how amazing he is. We talked a little bit yesterday about God's awesomeness, like the fact that he created the atmosphere around us to protect us from the sun's rays, but to let enough of the sun's rays in so we didn't freeze to death. So I mean, it's crazy when you think about he planned everything so perfectly so that we could live on this earth. There's enough air for us to breathe. When we breathe out, the plants take in what we breathe out. I mean, and the plants create more oxygen for us to breathe. I mean, he's created that relationship for a reason, because he knew these were the things that needed to happen enable for us to live our lives. It's super impressive and super amazing. That's why the Bible also tells us, like, even if someone hasn't heard the name of God or heard the name of Jesus, like, just the fact that they can see creation around them, they have no excuse but to believe that there's a God, there is a creator that's made these things. Man, it's pretty amazing. So today we're going to be talking about the different layers of the atmosphere. A couple of them are we're going to focus on just a couple of them, but we'll look at the picture of all the different layers. So go ahead and grab out those science books, open up to page 114. Go ahead and hit pause if you're not there yet. Grab out those science books, get them out. And let's rock and roll. All right. So, the layers of the atmosphere. God designed the atmosphere to have several layers. Each layer is different. Together, though, these layers protect the earth and give it a controlled climate. So, the climate is our regular temperature that we have. Like, our climate in California is usually pretty warm, right? Like, all during the summertime, we have 8 months of summer, and then we have 4 months of coolish weather. Still not even freezing cold like in the Midwest or out on the East Coast. So our climate out here is usually dry and warm. But we've been having lots of rain. It's been pretty awesome. Now, the troposphere, here we go, is the layer of the atmosphere that's closest to the earth. But even the tallest mountain on earth, Mount Everest, which is I think it's 29,000 feet, so it's 6 miles tall, reaches only about halfway into the troposphere. So the troposphere is twice that. About half of the air in the atmosphere is in the troposphere. The troposphere is also where weather occurs. That'll be on a quiz, I promise you. Put a little note in your brain. The troposphere is the layer of the atmosphere where weather occurs. So clouds, rainstorms, thunderstorms, snowstorms, whatever storms. That's where weather happens, in the troposphere. All right, cool. The air in the troposphere holds in the radiant heat from the sun. This helps keep the surface of the earth warm. At higher altitudes, the air in the troposphere gets thinner and cooler. Just as a thin sweater cannot keep you as warm as a thick coat can, the thinner air at higher altitudes cannot hold as much thermal energy as the denser air near the surface can. So the higher you up, the cooler it gets, and then eventually you hit a point where you keep going higher, and then it starts to get hotter, you actually it flip-flops. Now, we're talking about weather here on the top of page 115. Get there with me. Weather is a condition of the atmosphere at any moment in time. So right now, it's cloudy. That's the weather. Right now, it's not raining. That's the weather. Right now, it's 62 degrees outside. That's the weather. All right, you guys with me? Now, if it's raining, that'd be the weather. All right, let's keep going. The troposphere contains many particles and water droplets that affect the weather. These reflect light, allowing us to see colorful sunsets and sunrises. So when the clouds are looking all beautiful, it's like reflecting the water like droplets that are in the clouds are reflecting that sunlight, making it look so sweet. Isn't that awesome? I love sunsets. If I'm down at the beach, like it never fails. If it's clear or even like a little bit of cloudiness and I can see that sun going down, I'm taking pictures. Like for real, I've probably got like, I don't know, 300 or 400 pictures of sunsets on my phone. Yeah, I know it's kind of a problem. But you know, like they look sweet. I mean, it's God saying like good night, you know, like the sun's going down. All right, the stratosphere, here we go. The stratosphere is the next layer above the troposphere. The air in the stratosphere continues to get thinner as you travel away from the surface of the Earth. Unlike the troposphere though, the stratosphere increases in temperature as the altitude increases. So once you've gone through the troposphere and you're into the stratosphere, you know, not the thing, you know, like not that building in Las Vegas, you know, you can bungee jump off or whatever. No, not that one. What the layer of the atmosphere. So once we go through the troposphere and go through the stratosphere, once you continue to increase in your elevation, going up higher and higher, your altitude, then it starts to get hotter. All right, so God made the stratosphere to protect the earth. During the day, the stratosphere shields the earth from the harmful effects of the sun. At night, the stratosphere helps hold in some of the heat that the sun provided during the day. Now the ozone layer, next paragraph, the ozone layer is the upper part of the stratosphere. Ozone is a form of oxygen. This layer of gas is one way the stratosphere protects the surface of the earth from the sun's harmful rays. Now I was just reading an article yesterday that some scientists have found that like there's a hole over the North Pole in the stratosphere, in the ozone layer, that like they're super worried about the sunlight, you know, too many sun rays getting in there and causing like harmful effects of those radioactive waves flying in. Now, what was good about it being from the North Pole is the North Pole's not taking direct sunlight. Now, like if that was over our area, if that giant hole was over like a populated area that's getting direct sunlight, then it would probably be a lot more dangerous. But since, you know, here's the top of the sun right here, right? Or the top of our Earth, the North Pole, the sun's shooting at it and it's kind of grazing off the top, versus if it was pointing right here at us, the sun's coming straight at us, right? That would be a lot more damaging, I think. So let's keep going. The higher layers of the atmosphere also help protect the Earth. Meteors heading toward the Earth burn up in the mesosphere. These burning meteors are the shooting stars we sometimes see. Many of our weather communication satellites are in the thermosphere. The exosphere is the layer of the atmosphere farthest from the Earth. Now this layer gradually fades into space. I'm trying to remember what year it was. It was several years ago. There was a massive meteorite that came in over Russia, and like it came in, luckily it came in at a good angle, so it was able to burn up before it hit the ground. If it came in at a stronger, like more direct angle, like it would have definitely impacted the earth and caused, you know, a massive crater to form. Like it was big. And when it came in, it was coming in so fast, so hot, like it was blinding. Like there's videos of it. You gotta look up, like I think it's like Russian meteorite, and there'll be like dash cam videos of it everywhere. You know, the thing like lighting up the whole sky, and then there was like a massive sonic boom, and the boom from it was so loud it caused the whole roof of a factory to like, or part of the roof of the factory to collapse. It like blew out windows in cars, it blew out windows in the houses. Like it was intense. Every now and then there's like a cool one that security footage will catch. Like I think there was one over Michigan or Minnesota within the last year or two that came in at night, and it was so bright it lit up the entire city like it's daytime, but then it burned up. So luckily, God put that protective layer around the earth to help burn those things up, because if they came in and made contact, they're traveling so fast that even though they might only be the size of a car, they do insane amounts of damage. Or they would do insane amounts of damage. There's a really cool crater, I think it's either in Arizona or New Mexico. I went there as a kid, and it's like a mile wide. It's like a mile from one edge of the crater to the other side, and it's a few hundred feet deep. It's insane. It's super awesome. Maybe I'll try to attach a picture of that for you guys so you can see it. All right. Some people compare the atmosphere to a greenhouse. A greenhouse is a special building often made of glass. It completely surrounds and protects the plants inside from extreme heat or cold. The sunlight, temperature, and moisture inside a greenhouse are carefully adjusted to provide the ideal environment for the plants. In a similar way, God designed the atmosphere to completely surround the earth. He planned for the atmosphere to protect the earth and provide the proper weather needed for each area of the earth to be good and to survive. All right, so your homework for tonight, vocab, definitions for these last 4 pages. Let's see, I think there's only troposphere, air, atmosphere, air pressure, altitude. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, weather on this page. So you got 6 vocab and definitions to write out. Go ahead and open up the Google Classroom. I'm going to have an assignment in there for you, so that way I can collect it. So you're going to type out the word, you're going to type out the definition, and then I want you to answer the quick check problems right there in the Google Doc. Make sense? All right, I hope so. I hope so. If it doesn't make sense, I don't know what to tell you. It's not that hard. All right, so go ahead. Now we're done. Open up the Google Classroom for science. I think I might have everybody there. Maybe one student hasn't got signed up yet. I'm gonna call your mom. All right, cool. So go ahead and get signed up, get signed in there, open up that document, type out the definition so I can check and make sure you did it. And you don't have to worry about dropping it off at school or anything like that. All right, hope you guys are doing well. Check you tomorrow.